Very welcome, darlings. This video is all about New Earth, what it is, why would you choose it, why would you choose Old Earth, and then how do you actually go to New Earth? Because it only takes part of it only takes a couple of hours, and there's a lot of misconception around this. There is a lot of false information around this. There are a lot of people who have been trying to go to New Earth for 20 years, and they are not even aware of how to get there, and they are barking up the wrong tree, essentially. So I am a New Earth placeholder. I have been on New Earth for over a year now, probably about 15, 16 months. And so I just want to talk about this. I have worked for many years as a healer, as a guide, as a spiritual leader. Lots of different names I have used. I don't really use any of those right now. Um, but I would just like to help you understand this process because I have a lot of clients that come into my space lately. And uh, being in New Earth is almost like becoming a prerequisite to receive healing work at this point for the souls that are meant to be on New Earth but aren't yet on New Earth because their soul doesn't want to unpack their light codes on the other timeline. It's waiting to go to New Earth to then bloom, to then unpack, to then manifest because it doesn't want to build its house on that timeline. It wants to build its house on that timeline. It doesn't want to build its business on that timeline. It wants to build its business on that timeline. So it's not healing. It's not unpacking. It's not purifying over here because it doesn't want to. It wants to do that over here. So I've been finding myself explaining this conversation again and again and again, all for the last 6 months to people. And I'm like, I'm just going to do a YouTube video on this. And anyone who wants to know about it, they can come here and they can understand the process. So, first things first, what is New Earth? Well, a little story, and it requires you to let go of concepts of linear time because it doesn't make sense to the linear time mind, what I'm about to say. So just allowing your mind to be soft and receptive, allowing your like multidimensional perceptions to just turn on essentially, so you can start to understand what is being shared here. So what happened was in in the future, Earth destroyed itself. Okay, so a large group of humans, and the humans aren't the victim here, they are driving this. Okay, so humans are choosing AI, they're choosing to disassociate, they're choosing to numb out, they're choosing to distract, they're choosing to bury their heads in their 9 to 5 jobs, get really, really busy, and not purify their vessels and come to know who they organically are. They're not choosing to merge their spirit into matter. They're choosing to get busy with the reality instead. And this is creating this drive into this chemical reality where, the soil dries up and it can't produce fruits and vegetables because there's not enough minerals in the soil. So there's like a lack of food supply. The waters get polluted, they're not clean enough. Everyone starts to code their body with AI technology, which makes them more artificial. And then their natural intelligence starts ejecting out of their body more and more and more. So there's this race that's driving themselves into this AI world that eventually dies. It goes distinct. That's the distinction timeline. And that could be 100 years away. It could be 500 years away. I don't know. And I'm not tuning in to find out because I don't want to. But that is like a collective reality that you are connected to because you chose to be part of the human race when you came here. Your soul signed in a contract that said, yes, I want a human lifetime. I want a physical human vessel. I want a mental body. I want an emotional body. I want a spiritual body. I want a biological mom. I want a biological dad. And all of those choices have tied you contractually, formal contracts with your signature on them to this timeline. And then that document itself has been like invaded essentially, and there's lots of doorways in it that then access your body like portals and bleed through into you, so that there's a level of manipulation and infiltration and influence there by being on that timeline. So most of humanity have chosen that. They've chosen not to get to know their true self, their true nature, their true spirit, their allness. They have not chosen to do that. Right. And so that is a timeline. That is a bandwidth. That is a planet that is known as old Earth. Now, what happened is when Earth destroyed itself, it didn't, Earth is part of a big ecosystem. So it affected the rest of the ecosystem when Earth did this. So God, Source Prime Creator, sent out a call and said, all right, we can't let this happen like this. It was too destructive to everyone else, and everyone else's home planets and other realities were affected. So they said, we can't allow this to happen either. Let's do something about it. Let's change things. So there was a big call out through the angelic communities, through the galactic communities, through heaven, to get the best people for a ascension mission type job, to get them together to go to Earth. And in order for them to stop this happening, they had to all start incarnating all the way back here, about 42,000 years between these 2 points, more than that even. And not everybody came in at that point. Some people came in here and some people came in here. But essentially, you didn't just sign up for one lifetime, you signed up for hundreds. Okay, so that's why we have past lives. And so we usually came in here and we had to have multiple karmic cycles to get to this point. And we decided for most of that time to shut down our gifts, to shut down our light, because it was too hard being the only awake person, to be the only angelic representative in a family of people that were asleep and not awake and didn't see things the way that you saw it. And it was very isolating. And so we chose just to numb out because we knew it wasn't quite the right time to awaken just yet. So we kind of made our bodies really dormant. And then around about here, New Earth was starting to get ready to birth. So what I mean by that is the human race can't be saved. They are choosing it. And they are in a reality where they have free will and choice. So if they're choosing it, and you can't change their minds. However, what can be done is you can create an option B. So that's what was chosen to do. So there are people that have came here to create a second option. So where people were on this timeline and it was a timeline of doom and gloom and there was no other option, there is now simply another option. You can choose A or you can choose B. You can choose old Earth or you can choose new Earth. And every individual on this planet gets that option. It's simply sovereign free will, yes or no. It's not, you can't go if you're not an angel. It's not, you can't go if you're not purified enough. It's not, you can't go if you're not healed enough. You can't go if you're not divine as everyone else. You can't go if you're not yet psychic and gift. It's nothing like that. These are all stories that are put out there that people have confusion around. It's just simply, do you want to go? You can choose it. God would not like lock you off this timeline if you are choosing it. God isn't like that. God doesn't judge. God doesn't say you are here and you are here. God says if you want to go, you can go. There's 2 options now. So there is a second timeline and it is the New Earth timeline. The New Earth timeline doesn't have this collective consciousness from old Earth tied to it. It is a whole separate, it's not necessarily a timeline, but we'll call it a timeline for easy communication. So this timeline doesn't destroy itself. This timeline is the future of Earth. When this one eventually does die out, this is the replacement, essentially, for those who chose it and moved their bodies over to its libraries. Because this one has a library that you sign into and you operate from, and this one has a separate library that you sign into and operate from. And each library has a different set of like design, makeup, functionality for how the body works. So the physical body design over here is designed for survival mode. It has the two brain hemispheres. So you are always looking for what's wrong. Therefore, it's very hard to actually manifest heaven on earth when your body is designed to see what's wrong, is designed for fight, flight, freeze responses, gets triggered all the time, is very jittery. It's very hard. How are you going to manifest this soft, smooth, milky, delightful, serene lifestyle if you feel like you're in shutdown response all the time? Your body can't manifest, and your body is how you manifest. So your body needs to be like this soft, squishy, where you feel like your heart is open, like flower petals all day long. And this softness allows you to manifest what we might call heaven on earth. Okay, so if you want the framework, the step-by-step process and procedure, it takes about 90 minutes to 2 hours to sign out of this library. It's only a 90-minute to 2 hour procedure. That's it. As soon as you finish signing out that final page and amending it, you are 100% off that timeline. You are not like that anymore. Therefore, if that timeline keeps going in that direction and it keeps going down, you are unaffected by it. You can't go down with the ship because you're not an energetic match to it. You haven't chosen to do that. So as soon as you sign those contracts and amend those 6 pages, they take a lot of time because there are amendments that need to be made because you need to see where they've bled through. So you're unbleeding yourself from that. I've got a framework to do it. If you want it, you just DM me and I will share it with you. And then when you've signed out, your spirit starts transferring over to this timeline. And what that is it's like the makeup, the design of the new earth human starts becoming available online in your body. And as it starts to come online in your body, you start uploading new earth or downloading new earth. And then you start matching to this timeline. Now that process in itself is a little hard to explain because it kind of happens in stages and phases. So it's not like you just land and you're forever landed. It's kind of like you land the mental body, you land the spiritual body, you land the emotional body. The physical body is last to land. It means like you've integrated the new earth templates into your body. And then from there, you've got to train your body to relax, to start coming out of survival mode. So that relaxation process is like an unraveling process that you will do in phases. I've been doing it for the last year, and it has been profound to take my body to such, like, I feel like I want to cry right now. My body has never felt so safe to be in. Like when I look at my skin, I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually like see my spirit in my body. I feel like my body is my own. Whereas before I felt like, ugh, I don't really want to be in that vessel. I look at my skin and I looked at my body and I looked at it and I was like, it's not like, it's nothing to do with like beauty. It's more like I couldn't recognize the body as my own. And it was because it was so connected to like the infestation over here. So now I actually look at my body and it feels pure. I can see the spirit occupying my skin, and I can see through my third eye, my spirit is actually like, oh, I love this body. I love this vessel. It's like getting a new vessel. It's like getting a new animal body to be in it, to occupy, that actually helps you to see and perceive beauty, to see and perceive softness, to see and perceive through acceptance and compassion and love and peace. And it's a whole different way of operating. This timeline is all about good and bad, right and wrong, good versus evil. This one's all about just the middle point, the point of just there's no split. It's neutral language, neutral words. It's like standing in the center of the seesaw, and it doesn't really matter what the seesaw's doing. You're solid in the center. You are unaffected, sovereign of the wobbles, of the duality, poles. And the healing over here becomes around collapsing the seesaw so that there is no seesaw. There is no, oh, that's a healthy person and that's an unhealthy person. Oh, that's a good person and that's a bad person. oh, that's a healthy masculine and that's an unhealthy masculine. You don't do that anymore. You just go acceptance. No story, no opinion, no interpretation. I see through the eyes of God that everybody is actually perfectly living out their creations and their belief system for what they are choosing, and God has it under control, and it's not my business, and I don't need to save anyone. And that just creates so much, oh my gosh, relief in the body. And so that's been a little bit of what I've been doing for the last 18 months or so. So why would somebody choose old earth? Somebody would choose old earth if they haven't had enough contrast. So people actually quite like the spikes of old earth. They like the good day, good week, bad week, sad through Monday to Friday, happy on the weekend. They like I'll go do the hard work and push through it, and then I'll have a glass of wine at the end of the day and bliss out. They quite like the ups and downs, and they almost want more of that. They find it thrilling. And so souls choose that timeline because they like the roller coaster of it. When a soul is really tired of the roller coaster of the ups and downs, and their nervous system starts saying, I just want peace. Like, I do not want the high highs and the low lows anymore, because where you are birthing a high high, you are simultaneously birthing a low low. That is law. That is law. So there are people out there who are trying to save the world by getting to nirvana states, not realizing that if they're taking themselves to nirvana states, they're simultaneously birthing a very low reality in the world for themselves and others. So that is not helpful. That's what's happening over there. So that's false information, where people are talking about blissing out, going to Zen states, nirvana states to get to new earth. That is not the way. That's like standing at the extreme end of the seesaw, or the extreme end of the pendulum. It's like choosing left and ignoring that there is not even a right. The universe is always seeking balance. It is always seeking to find homeostasis, equilibrium, the middle point, the balance point. Why would God choose left and not the center point? Like, it doesn't make sense. It would tip everything out of balance. The body can't operate that way. Notice you can't hold it. You can't hold a high state of excitement, a high state of bliss for very long. You drop. It's not possible. You can't do that. So once you're tired of doing this, that's when your body is like usually getting to that old soul point. And it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I would like to move beyond this. I would like to find just balance. I just want peace. I just want serenity. I just want tranquility. I just want stillness. I don't want to live like that anymore. That's usually when the spirit starts to call you and say, hey, time to get off this timeline. Hey, time to go over to New Earth now. And so if you are experiencing that, I just want peace now. I am so burnt out. I am so tired. I can't do this another 5 years. That is another sign that your soul is asking you to come over here. Now, I've had people come to me, and I've had this conversation with them, and they go, I don't know if I choose New Earth or Old Earth. I don't know what to do. Like, you are empowered to make that decision now. You don't have to um, you, you don't have to suffer because you can't remember if your spiritual self, who's more intelligent than you, chose that decision for you. Your human can override that. You can just go, yes, I'm choosing New Earth. And you can just go. So you can just be a little bit more empowered with that decision yourself. Okay. So I've spoken about what is New Earth. So so New Earth is a collective of human beings who have chosen differently. They have chosen to live their life in peace, balance, and harmony, not spikes, not extremes. Okay, and they have transferred their spirit from this library to this library. What gives you access into New Earth is nothing other than you are wearing the New Earth body. All right, there's two different bodies for the two different bandwidths, just like in other time-space realities. Like Palladians have a Palladian body, Arcturians have an Arcturian body, right? This body matches the planet. So this planet, there's two planets, they have two different bodies that match them. So it's your body vessel that allows you to upload or download new earth into your body, and then that's how you go there, right? You don't, again, there's lots of misconceptions around this, that aliens are coming to take us to new earth, that there's spaceships coming, that there's going to be a grand solar flash that's going to take us there. None of that I am aware has been the truth. People have been singing that song for years and decades, and nothing is actually changing. The messages that they're sharing are still the same. One more day, one more day, one more day. If you're waiting one more day and linear time isn't true and real, and there's only the now moment, you're actually creating that it never comes. That's what you're manifesting. If you are believing that one day new earth is going to come, it's never going to come, right? There is only the now moment. There's only the present moment. So if new earth isn't what you are in this now second, then it's you're not there, and all that is required is for you to change your mind about it and go through the procedure of getting the new earth body, right? Now, you can't just say, all right, I'm choosing new earth, I would like the new earth body, I'm manifesting it now. There is a much more concise and precise procedure, simply because of sovereign free will. To choose to change species is a big deal. Like, you can't just wish for it. The human has to fully 100% understand what they are signing. Yes, I 100% acknowledge that I am signing a document right now that says that my physical body will no longer be tied to the old earth timeline. Signing that out, 100%, God, I know what I'm doing. Yes, I see my mental body here has been connected to the old earth timeline. I 100% know exactly what I'm doing. I do not choose that anymore. I am signed out, right? And so you have to actually go through that process. 100% like showing up for your consent, okay? And then that's when you can start coming over here. So yes, why would you choose New Earth? Well, for obvious reasons. Lots of people just want to feel like they want to return home. And home isn't up, home is in. And it's really hard to get inside your body when the external environment is so jarring all the time. You don't have that time, you don't have the space, you don't have the peace to be able to tune in and return to center. And that's a little bit of masculine, feminine development work as well. Over on New Earth, not everyone is holy and enlightened and pure. There are a lot of different people over here, some at different levels of spiritual development. And that is okay, because God isn't discriminating. God isn't saying you're not healed enough to come over here. You haven't done enough purification work to come over here. That is not the case. So over here, there is a lot of mixtures of people of all different levels of soul development, and that is perfect and fine. And so there is still purification work to do over here. However, the language is slightly different, and there is actually so much more available to you. Like when I have somebody in a healing session that is over here, there is some kind of limitation with what we can do. When we're over here, there is not so much limitation. We can do so much more, simply because their soul is so willing to download its codes, its architecture, its life plan, its business plan, its house plans. It's so willing to unpack, because it's like, yes, I want to stay here. This is where I want to establish my light on this timeline. I can relax here. Everything can just unpack. And so but it feels like there's so much more capacity to work with people over here. Okay, so I think I've answered all the questions that people have asked me about. I'm pretty sure that's all the information I have. If you have any more questions, you are so welcome to DM me through social media. If you would like the link, it's a YouTube link. You can DM me. It's $79 bank transfer. At this current moment in time, I think I have it in my Etsy store. It's slightly more expensive because Etsy store has their own third-party charge on it. But if you want to get it directly from me, I think you save yourself about $9. You can do that. Okay, I love you. All the best. If you have any more questions, I'm happy to answer them for you.